Hello, and welcome back to our channel Rolling Movie Recaps. Today, we are going to explain an American action crime film called Walking Tall, which was released in the year 2004. The story of the film is about Chris Vaughn, a former soldier of the U.S. Army Special Forces, who returns to his hometown after 8 years and battles the criminals and corrupt officers and they have taken over the town. But before we begin, beware of spoilers, watch out and take care. And I hope you enjoy the video. The film opens with Army Special Forces veteran Chris Vaughn, who returns to his hometown in Kitsap County, Washington, to reunite with his family and hoping to find work. But he notices that the biggest factory in town has been shut, and he speculates that there might be many unemployed individuals in the town looking for jobs. He is approached by the town's sheriff, named Stan Watkins. Stan recognizes Chris after Chris introduces himself because everyone in this town knew him before he left. Stan shows his respect by offering Chris a ride to his home. Chris refuses at first, but accepts the ride once Stan insists a little too much. Stan tells him to vote for him in order to once again make him sheriff. He comes home, as his family has not seen him for a few years. His sister, Michelle, is very surprised to see him, as his father is also very happy to see him. Late at night, the entire family has dinner together. Chris sees his nephew, Pete, who has grown considerably. Everyone is happy with Chris returning back home, except Pete, who is a very ill-mannered kid. He tells Chris that he does not like him because he will take his room, but Chris ensures that he will not take his room and intends to sleep on the floor. In the morning, we see Chris working when his old friend, Ray, comes to meet as the news traveled to him that Chris was in town. Both of them sit down and talk when Ray reveals that he got addicted to drugs and had to spend time in prison. But he explains that he has been away from all of that for a very long time. He even mentions that he does not drink anymore and has been sober for a very long time. Then he invites him to a football game with some of their old high school friends. Since Chris has been away for such a long time, he decides that he will go and play football with his friends. There he meets Jay Hamilton, whose family had been one of Kitsap County's wealthiest, owning one of the local timber mills. Jay's friends also came to play, and Chris was not familiar with them. Amongst the new group of people is Booth. As the game goes on, Chris realizes that these are the kind of people that will do anything to win, and they will never play fair. The game goes well until one of Jay's new friends, Booth, takes a cheap shot at Chris' injured knee. However, the game ends amicably enough. During the game, Chris notices that his nephew, Pete, was hanging around a few people who were smoking marijuana. Chris warns Pete not to get involved with such unsavory people, but Pete brushes him off. Ray and Jay invite Chris to join them at the town's new casino, built and run by Jay himself, who'd closed down his family's timer mill a few years before, putting the workers out. Several of them went on to work at the casino for Jay, a bit of news Chris isn't happy about. Chris meets Jay, who tells his men to give Chris VIP treatment. However, he tells them he'll join them that night for a sort of coming home celebration. When the party arrives at the casino, Chris is whisked away immediately to one of the private dancing booths. While he watches a beautiful woman dancing for him, he realizes after a few minutes that it's his old girlfriend Deanie. Chris is bothered by her new job and goes back out onto the gambling floor and meets up with Ray. He watches a craps dealer very closely and sees that the man is using loaded dice. But the craps dealer is not ready to grasp the fact that he is cheating. Chris pushes him away and puts in all his money. Chris wins and proves that he was cheating as the guards come to escort him away. But he was in special forces, so escorting him will not be very easy, and Chris proves it when he starts to beat the guards up very easily. Chris keeps fighting them off, until eventually he is electrocuted and knocked out by Booth. Chris is in a basement as Booth and his men surround Chris. Booth severely injures Chris and throws him on the road, as he thinks that he is dead. A truck comes and almost hits Chris, but he tells the truck to stop at the right time, as the driver takes him to a nearby hospital. His family is informed that Chris was found beaten and that he is in a hospital. They come running to the hospital, where they are informed that Chris will live, but he needs a lot of recovery. Then he is sent home to recover, with Ray keeping him company. He comes home, but he is not fully able to walk. He even starts to develop a friendship with Pete while he rests in his house. Later he starts to exercise and finally he recovers fully. Later he goes to the market and buys some wood to get started on building a new house. But when he is stacking the wood, Jay comes and starts to talk. He apologizes for everything his men have done to him. He also offers Chris a job as the head of security, but Chris refuses the job by saying that his men tried to kill him and he will never forget that. Jay also gives him a considerable amount of money for taking the job. Jay also mentions that Chris is denying a job that people would kill for, but Chris still refuses to take the money or the job. Chris threatens Jay by saying that his men tried to kill him and he is taking this case to the sheriff. Jay gets a little angry and leaves without saying anything further. Chris goes to Sheriff Watkins and tells him everything about what Jay's people did to him. Chris announces that he wants to launch a case against the casino, but Watkins refuses to do so. Chris is bewildered as Watkins explains that there have been many other cases against the casino, but he chooses not to take any action, since he believes that the casino is the only source of revenue in this city. He suggests Chris to not take further action regarding the casino. Watkins also mentions that Chris' beating case has already been investigated and that there's no conclusive evidence to prosecute Jay's security guards. Though Chris says the sheriff's indifference will not stand, he still decides to leave it alone. Later on, Deanie comes to meet Chris and both of them talk about their past. When Deanie leaves, Chris gets a call that Pete has been admitted to a hospital. Chris instantly goes there and discovers that his nephew has suffered an overdose from crystal meth. Chris wonders where Pete even got the crystal meth. Pete tells him that got it from his friends and says that he only tried it once. When he confronts Pete's friends and demands to know the source of the crystal meth they took, they tell him the security guards at the casino have been secretly dealing with them and supplying drugs. In a fury, Chris returns to his parents' house and grabs a shotgun. While he is loading the bullets, his father tells him not to pull such a stunt because his father knows about how corrupt the casino is and one man alone cannot fix it. But despite what his father says, Chris decides to ignore him and still goes to the casino with a loaded shotgun. He drives to the casino and, after a moment where he seems to grab hold of his rage, he leaves the shotgun behind and marches into the casino with a piece of wood and begins to smash the slot machines. Jay's guards try to stop him, but he beats them very easily, some with his hunk of wood and some with his bare hands. Booth also comes and attempts to stop Chris, but he also manages to take Boot. Then he takes the piece of wood and throws it through the one-way mirrored window of Jay's second-floor office. Jay warns him that their relationship has changed. He goes out into the street to await the police and is arrested on the spot for assault. At his court date, Jay produces plenty of witnesses from his casino who testify that Chris seemed out of control due to the violence he was capable of, armed or not. After listening to hours of testimony, Chris fires his lawyer and tells the jury and courtroom audience about the pride the town used to possess and that they shouldn't have traded the closed lumber mill for a casino that deals drugs and rips off its customers. He announces that he'll run for sheriff with the promise of eliminating the corruption gripping the town. He then shows them the scars from the injuries he suffered when Jay's men beat him. Chris wins the election. He's approached on his first day by Sheriff Watkins, who tells him that his deputies are all reliable and Chris should consider keeping them on. Chris refuses flatly. Watkins gives him a veiled warning. Chris also stops Jay on the road while he rides in his Porsche with his girlfriend and delivers a veiled threat. Jay scoffs at Chris' new authority and tries to bribe him. When Chris walks away, he smashes Jay's taillight, ordering him to get it fixed. Chris hires Ray to be his first deputy. Though he's reluctant, given his own past of addiction, Ray accepts. Chris tells Ray they're going to break up Jay's drug empire by working on his staff. They start with Booth, spending several hours dismantling his customized pickup truck and throwing him in jail. Chris also reconnects with Deanie, and they rekindle their romantic relationship. She visits him at the jail, while Ray stands watch at Chris' parents' home. The next morning, goons show up at the sheriff's station and begin shooting the place up, Watkins leading them. Chris and Deanie manage to fight them off. Booth is killed in his cell during the firefight. Chris is able to escape and goes back to his parents, where Ray is battling with several other assailants who attacked Chris' family. They fight them all off. Chris goes to the abandoned lumber mill, looking for Jay. The two fight through the place, eventually spilling out into the forest. Chris corners Jay and hits him in his knee with a log and finally arrests Jay. Here this movie ends. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well, and thanks for watching.